Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I am your host, Goddess Tulsa. We have a great show for you today. Before we get into the mess and the message, read that description and we'll be right back. Hello. Hello, everybody, and thank you for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show. I want to thank you all if you've donated to the Cash App, the Zelle, or the Cash App, the Zelle, or um the Cash App, Zelle, or the PayPal. So yeah, we definitely want to engage. Today we do have a live show. We are streaming on our home base, which is Spreaker. Um, Welcome everybody. Welcome. Okay, and so just so we can clear the air, I want to welcome everybody once again. Thank you all for coming out to the Goddess Tulsa show here on Goddess Tulsa Radio. We do have a trigger warning. The opinions are just that. We advise you to seek professional help. Now, I want to say this. Um, I would like to say this. We have Macy Gray and we have Brittney Griner up on in today's news. And so Brittney Griner decided to take full responsibility for her actions with a guilty plea. That's according to her legal team. Brittney Griner, and actually let me go ahead and pull up a photo. So if you guys do not know who Brittney Griner is, this is who the young lady is. Here, give me 1 second as I navigate and pull this up. But Brittney Griner is a basketball player, and she's a professional basketball player. Let's get that correct. And she was caught with paraphernalia. And so here, let me go ahead and share this screen so you all can see. And I don't wish this on anybody. She's actually in another country and incarcerated. Professional basketball player, and she is of the Lgbtqia plus community. So yeah, she's in the news, still is. And so Brittney Griner, uh, her Russian legal team said Thursday that the WNBA superstar decided to take full responsibility for her actions, and when she pleaded guilty to a drug charge in court in Moscow, and hoped the sentence wouldn't be severe. Griner was arrested in February for allegedly bringing vape cartridges containing oils derived from cannabis through a Moscow airport. She has been she has been held in jail since. Griner faces a 10-year sentence. It was her decision, informed by discussion with her legal defense team in Russia. Her legal team said Brittney sets an example of being brave. She decided to take full responsibility for her actions as she knows that she is a role model for many people. Considering the nature of her case, the insignificant amount of substance, and BG's personality and history of positive contributions to global and Russian sport, the defense hopes that the plea will be considered by the court as a mitigating factor and there will be no severe sentence, right? So Griner's agent, Lindsay Kawaga Colas, also praised the WNBA superstar bravely. Brittney Griner was a model of courage today, Kawaga Colas said. BG's service as an Olympian and global sport ambassador, caring for those most in need, has always distinguished her. But BG is also a human being whose family misses her. She deserves our compassion, understanding, love, and support. We're so grateful to POTUS and VP for the time they spent with Cheryl, confirming their commitment to bring BG and all Americans home, and hope that out of respect for the sanctity of sport, sanctity of sport internationally, BG can return home as soon as possible. The Women's National Basketball Players Association also expressed support for the Phoenix Mercury Center. The WNBPA stands with Brittney Griner with a 99% conviction rate. Russia's process is its own. You can't navigate it or even understand it like our own legal system. WNBPA Executive Director Terry Jackson said, "What we do know is that the U.S. Department determined that Brittney Griner was wrongfully detained for a reason, and we'll leave it at that." WNBA Commissioner Kathy Ingenberg added, "Brittney Griner remains wrongfully detained in Russia, and nothing that happened today changes that 140 days later." The WNBA continues to work diligently with the U.S. State Department, the White House, and other allies in and outside government to get Brittney home safely and as soon as possible. She has the wholehearted and unconditional support of the entire WNBA and NBA family who eagerly await her safe return. And the league will recognize BG as an honorary starter at this weekend's WNBA All-Star Game. Griner's guilty plea comes just one day after Russia's foreign ministry said during a news briefing that the WNBA star will have the ability to appeal her verdict or apply for clemency. The foreign ministry also disputed claims made by the U.S. that she was wrongfully detained on February 17th. The White House confirmed Wednesday that President Biden spoke with Griner's wife and is actively working to secure Brittney's release as soon as possible, as well as the release of Paul Whelan and other U.S. nationals who are wrongfully detained or held hostage in Russia and around the world. Oh, Jesus. Guys, we definitely have to be careful. We have to be mindful of these laws in these other countries when we are traveling throughout the country. Because as we can see, I don't know if it was knowingly or unknowingly that she had those in her possession or in her luggage. But the fact remains, she's incarcerated. They have her in custody, and she's been there since February 17th. And justice needs to be served. She's wrongfully detained, and I feel like they need to release her, release her back. It wasn't a criminal. See, well, is it a criminal crime? I believe it is a criminal crime. When you have drugs, that would be you're committing a crime. So I wonder, it's a criminal crime. However, I feel like 10 years for having vape cartridges on your possession, I believe that's a little steep. Now, if you said, okay, well, she's distributing, she is affiliated with a drug activity, then I could understand. But however, if it was for her own personal use, that's a whole totally different story. But then we have to understand this. Even in our airports here in the US, I mean, we have dogs, we have all type of things that are going to alert security that there's paraphernalia, or um, there's a great amount of product, and it is against the law. So, but this is another thing. When we talk about vapes, it makes me question, okay, well, did they test it and something had come back that was positive? I want to know how was that situation handled? Did she go through security, and did somebody smell something? How were they alerted? How were they alerted? And like I said, guys, I believe that the sentencing and the punishment is very, very harsh. And speaking of harsh, we have Macy Gray that is still rocking the headlines. I mean, she is definitely, I don't know, she's at this point I really don't know. Guys, give me a second. I'm gonna go out and then I'll come back in, because I kind of like I'm out and in. If you guys can hear me, please put 3 2s in the chat. Okay. All right, guys. So I am back. Hopefully you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, definitely put 3 2s in the chat so I'll know that you're here and that you can hear me. Okay, give me 1 second. And actually, what I'll do is I'll pin the link to the StreamYard so you guys can have it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up an interview. I won't bring up the first interview, but I'll bring up the response interview. And Macy Gray had been very controversial towards trans women and of the trans community. And my opinion and my feelings and my thoughts, and this is how I truly feel, y'all means all. So without further ado, let me go ahead and play this interview.
You were on the Piers Morgan show, and there was a question about trans women. And this was what you said in part. as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman. If you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want, but that doesn't make you a woman. Just because I call you a her, just because you got a surgery, you can call yourself whatever you want. There was a wave of backlash that came as a result. Just tell me where you are right now on that statement.
Well, I never, of course, meant to hurt anybody with what I said. I'm actually a huge. I think it takes a lot of courage to be yourself, to go out in the world and be honest about who you are. And so I think anyone who is in the LGBT community is a hero and sets an example for all of us with that, you know. So I said some things that didn't go over well. But my intention was never to hurt anybody. I feel bad that I did hurt some people, and I think it's you know, it's just about education. It's about conversation and us getting to a point where we understand each other and.
Well, I'm gonna chime in and I'm gonna say this. What happened is that PR team said, girl, you got yourself into a tizzy. They said, girl, they said, Molly, you in danger, girl. Listen here. They said, Molly, you in danger, girl. That's what happened. Oh, yes. They said, Molly, you in danger, girl. And girl, they said, let's get this PR together. Let's go ahead and give a fair statement, girl. Yes, she went into Molly, you in danger, girl. But girl, we're going to listen.
And that only happened.
And before I go further, I accept, let me just say this in all due respect, I respect for her acknowledging and coming right back and saying, hey, I made a mistake. I'm willing to apologize and I'm willing to make it better. So all in all, even though it was distasteful, but you have to give credit where credit is due. She turned around. Whoever got in her ear, we're thankful for it. I don't care who it was. Thank you for getting in her ear and explaining to her that it was offensive. And people, it takes a lot of courage to get up every day. And cocky doody do.
With, you know, I've learned a lot through this. Mm-hmm. So I think that was one of the reasons it might have happened. Just it was a huge learning experience for me, and I just have a compassion for you know what I think you can, like I said in there, you can call yourself what, like you whoever you believe you are, and no one can dictate that for you or take that away, you know.
I think life is an education process. The more you sit with people, the more you talk to people, it changes your perspective. So has your perspective changed, do you feel?
I've learned so much, and I think you know, being a woman is a vibe, and it's something I'm very proud of, and it's very precious to me, and I think that if you in your heart feel that that's what you are, then that's what you are, regardless of what anybody says or thinks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, but yeah, I've learned a lot, absolutely, right, and I'm glad I did. Well, now I know.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, because I think people got confused, and people sometimes you realize that through education, you feel differently about things. This is all coming as you have new music out. It's called Reset. It's all about a reset in life.
Yeah.
All right. So shout out to a reset in life. However, let's talk about the free Brittney Griner shirts worn by Macy Gray's band. Not allowed on NBC's Today during performance. The singer said what's happening to the WNBA star is in a really horrible situation. She goes on to say, during a Thursday live music performance, NBC's Today Show allegedly told the keyboard artist and other members of Macy Gray's band to not wear their Free Brittney Griner t-shirts while on set. Billy West, the keyboardist for the Grammy-nominated R&B singer-songwriter, told reports on Thursday that he was told by Today's staff that he had to turn his shirt inside out to hide the words Free Brittney Griner during the music group's performance. The band had intended on making a political statement in support of Griner, the Olympic gold medalist and WNBA superstar, who has been detained in Russia since February after being accused by Russian authorities of smuggling drugs into Moscow airport. Griner allegedly traveled with vape cartridges containing cannabis oil on Thursday. Today, Griner pleaded guilty to having the substances while traveling, though she claimed she didn't want to break the law. The White House confirmed on Wednesday that President Joe Biden is actively working to secure Brittney's release as soon as possible. After Today aired Thursday morning on live after the show, a TMZ reporter found West and asked, "So what happened to your Free Brittney Griner shirt?" West responded, "Well, they made me turn it inside out. They said I couldn't wear it, so I had to turn it inside out." He gave a shout out to Griner before leaving, saying, "But y'all know what time it is. Free Brittney. Period." Reporters caught up with singer Macy Gray after the performance as well. When asked about how she felt about the t-shirt being absurd, Gray stated, "I'm just praying for her. That really bummed me out today. That really made me mad." Or, you know what? Hold on. Reporters caught up with singer Macy Gray after the performance as well. When asked about how she felt about the t-shirt being absurd, Gray stated, "I'm just proud for her. That really bummed me out today. That really, really made me sad." The reporter followed up by asking whether the artist felt as though the former President Donald Trump could have secured Griner's release if he was still in office. Gray sidestepped the political question, simply responding, "I just hope they do something about it." All right, child. So we have to free Brittney. Let's get Brittney back over here. Brittney does not deserve any of what's going on. She doesn't. This isn't right. It's not right. It's not okay. But we know that Brittney's going to make it out anyway. I did drop the link in the chat if you guys want to come up and sound off and give your opinion. If not, drop a comment after the live. Come back, show some support. Definitely support the Cash App. And listen, I also want to inform you that we are making some big changes in the show here on Goddess Tulsa Radio, Keeping Up with Queen Tulsa Goddess on YouTube. And we're also at our home base tonight, Spreaker.com. You can also follow us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music. We're actually on Google as well. And so I want to thank y'all for coming out tonight. And I'm your host, Goddess Tulsa. This is the Goddess Tulsa Show. And we are out. Goodbye.